Hi, I'm Dr. Troy Page. I'm an educator, Doctor of Education, Director of Cambridge Online Education, speaker, author. Yeah, I've done quite a lot.
Great. And then we'll go straight into asking your questions. So, what is it about schools teach that you feel is outdated?
Well, they are outdated. I mean, it's not just me that's saying that. I mean, they're 170 years old, and 170 years ago, you would have been in a classroom, you'd have had kids, you'd had one teacher at the front and a board behind them. What are they like today? What are schools like today? Pretty much the same, right? There's 30 kids in a classroom. There's one teacher and a board behind them. All the technology that's in the schools, which is I'm advocating, should be taken out of the cupboards and taken out of the IT suites and brought into students' hands and being used within active learning rather than the kids with sitting on their hands and not allowed to move and just got to listen to teachers. Big difference. We need to change things.
Yes, and what are some of the key changes you are calling for?
Well, I'm looking for what everybody's looking for, which is a personalized offer. So, the problem with the mass education system as it's currently conceived and has been conceived for the last 170 years is that it's not personalized. Most parents they complain that their child's needs are not being met. Even if they are, high flyers, doing great, they're really, really smart and really academic, even those parents are complaining because the child is their particular needs are not being met. So everybody's needs really are not being met in the classroom. And my argument is that technology is really, really good at personalizing education, and we need to use it. It's a simple message.
Yeah, really interesting. And if you could tell me a little bit more about your new book.
Oh yes, so future-proofing schools. I'm very worried about schools because if we carry on the way we are, no one's going to go to them. So now that sounds extreme, but since the pandemic, there's been a 70% increase in the number of students who are persistently late. Nearly a quarter of all school children in the UK don't go to school as they should. They are persistently absent. That's 1.54 million children not going to school regularly. I mean, that is shocking. So basically, people are voting with their feet. They're saying, look, enough's enough. You're not preparing, you as a school are not preparing my child for the very uncertain future of robots and AI and God knows what. You're still stuck in the past. My child's no longer listening to the teachers because they don't believe that teacher is the answer. They can learn more during the lunch break than they can through the entire school day. Most of the school work they're doing is done at home anyway on their computer because the teachers can't get anything out of them during the day, so they set it all for homework. There's no work-life balance for the child. It's all gone bonkers. So now, and of course, you've got the bullying and the antisocial behaviour, and you've got the ceilings falling in, with concrete and problems, and the schools crumbling. There's loads of reasons, but the upshot is that since the pandemic, 1.54 million children are not going to school as they should, and people are voting out. So we something needs to change. Now, I don't want to see the demise of schools. I don't want to see the stopping of schools. Even though I run an online education business to help people with their education at home, I don't advocate that everybody goes to an online school. In fact, it's a minority of people for whom that is the answer. But I think online education has to be part of the answer. But my view looking forwards is what I call a hive school, which is the idea that just like lovely little fluffy bees, they can go in and out of school, bringing good stuff in and taking good stuff out. And when they're in there, they're doing good things. And there's a lot of doing going on. Worker bees, everybody's working. That's what I want to see. I want to see all of the technology that we've got being leveraged to give each and every individual teacher and each and every individual student what they need, rather than locking it all away as if it never happened. Um, and imagine this situation now where kids don't have to go home and do their schoolwork all at home. So they can say, like, look, it's optional homework. If you want to do more work at home, that's fine, but you don't have to do it. So they can go home and they can enjoy their home life. They can have a home life, you know. Oh, where's the daughter gone? Well, you know, she's not gone. She's there. She's playing Scrabble. You know, they're having fun, and the parents and children are having proper, good quality family time. Now, because of that, they go to school in a more positive mindset. Okay, they've been nourished by what families can nourish the children with. Okay, just that being together. And then they go to school and they're met rather than being met with a bell that keeps going off and having to walk in straight lines like they're in the army or in some kind of prison somewhere. They've been given the project because I'm advocating project-based learning. Okay, so children are given a project. The whole national curriculum is divided into projects. The kids work through those projects at their own speed with the support of learning coaches, which is what we do in the online school, but they do it at school. They've got their friends, they've got their support network. You know, they're being socialized, which is so important. We missed that during the pandemic. We want to see that. It's a really important part of human development. So they're doing all that, they're getting all the good stuff, and they're working through the project. And they can go anywhere in the school to find the answers that they need. They can go online, they can go to each other, they can go to experts in the school because schools are great. They've got loads of experts, you know, that you can ask and you can show your project to them, and the project and the teachers and the learning coaches can get together and check your progress. And then at the end of all of that, rather than have an exam where everybody's just sitting in there for an hour and a half, desperately trying to remember crushingly boring facts that won't serve them in any way, shape, or form in their lives going forwards, which is why two-thirds of people in schools have always left school without good results. That's a fact. Okay. Two-thirds of all children in all schools forever have left school without what they need. They can't get a good job with those grades. They can't get onto a good program somewhere with those grades. They are the forgotten kids, and they have to go make their way in life unprepared, which is totally anathema to what schools are supposed to be doing. So this way, when instead of that exam, what you have is you have these children. The so-called exam will be an assessment. It'll be an assessment of their portfolio, and the quality of that portfolio then is given the opportunity to shine, which means the child shines. The child's got self-esteem. The child gets good grades. The child can then evidence that to future schools and colleges, and they can evidence it to employers. And employers can finally make sense of what they're looking at. Because at the moment, with this grade 1 to 9, you know, they're still stuck in the past, employers. They're still thinking about A's and B's and C's. There are three A grades now with this 9 system, effectively. It's so confusing. It makes no sense.
Yes, very interesting. And you did just touch on this, but how do you feel online schooling can help children thrive?
So for those kids who are just not going to go to school, for them it's a scary place. It's a place where they are shunned for their intelligence, or they're shunned for because they have special educational needs, or they just don't find the environment conducive to learning, or maybe they've got a lot going on in their life. You know, a lot of the students that go to our online schools have fascinating lives. I mean, we've got a prodigy F1 driver. We've got budding tennis superstars. We've got young entrepreneurs. The fact of the matter is, today with technology, if you leverage technology, you don't have to wait to start your career. You don't have to wait to develop your future. It's not a something. It's not like you have to just kind of sit around in zombie land at school waiting for your life to start. Your life can start today, and education with technology can fit around it. And that's what we do with our online education offer. So we have a lot of flexibility. We have a lot of online support in terms of our community. Everybody knows each other. Everybody knows what everybody's up to. Everybody's sharing what they're up to. So it's very social from that point of view. And because the children are getting a fulfillment in their life that they wouldn't have got and didn't get in the conventional education system, because these kids have come from the conventional education system and not found that they can do what they absolutely desire to do. Their passions are not being fulfilled, and their family life is not being fulfilled, and they're around people, frankly, that they don't want to be around. You know, but today with technology, you have a choice. You don't have to do it, and that I think is part of the reason why a quarter of children are just not going to school anymore.
Yes, it definitely. And finally, to end the interview, where can we go to learn more about your book and Cambridge online education?
Future Proofing Education is available in Amazon, on Amazon, and you can go to all good bookshops. You'll find me at cambridgeonlineeducation.com, or any of the many schools and colleges that I now run as part of that organization. So I'm everywhere online. Dr. Troy Page, just Google me.